Hey guys, so I know this is super weird, but honestly, it was nice to put on lipstick today and get a chance to talk with you guys. Um, I know I've been doing a lot of Zoom things with church and whatnot, but I don't know, with Zoom sometimes and Google Hangouts, you just feel like you can't hear what people are saying. So I'm going to try to create YouTube videos to explain what's going on in class right now. But I hope you're all well. And I hope you're all doing good. And right now, I'm totally feeling what y'all feel when I asked you to record the TED Talk and all of those other things. So it's totally payback. I hate looking at myself in a camera. Um, but let me go over here. So it's kind of awkward. I'm going to be looking at my screen to kind of explain. So I'm not going to be looking at my recording. If I do anything weird, just ignore it. Okay? So you will see 10th grade ELA distance enrichment learning. It says, congrats, for each of the next 3 weeks, you have received a $20 gift card to use at the Jewell Academic Cafe. You must spend it all. So basically, guys, it's a list of assignments, and you get to pick and choose which ones you want to complete each week. Each of the assignments are worth a certain amount of dollars. And you need to choose some, whether it's 2 $5 assignments and one $10 assignment, just one $20 assignment. You need to, and make sure you look at the assignment before you listen to this, because you're not going to know what I'm talking about if you haven't. But you need to pick assignments that total $20, okay? And there are quite a few choices. So, if you scroll and take a look at it, your first option is drinks and appetizers. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different categories, and they are all 10-question, multiple choice kind of review. The first one's context clues, the second one's theme, the third one's meaning and tone, the fourth one's transitions, and the fifth one is punctuation. Now, you guys know for a fact this is English class, and to answer those questions, there will be quite a bit of reading, because how are you going to figure out the theme of a story if you've not read the whole thing? You don't know the tone of something from one little paragraph. Sure, you're looking closely at the words the author chooses to use, but read it all. It'll make sense. Better sense. Now, transitions is probably going to be the hardest for you, just because it's a hard category. Transitions are those words you use to go from one sentence to the next, or one thought to another. Now, on the basic level, it's things like first, next, then, last, but you know these questions aren't asking about simple ones like that. They're definitely more detailed. But all of the $5 assignments are just 10 questions, multiple choice. So all of your answers for each week's assignments are going to go on to one Google Doc, okay, which you'll see in the assignment and classroom. And so literally on your Google Doc at the top, put context clues, and then 1 through 10, and then just A, D, C. All you have to write down is the answer, okay? You don't have to copy and paste the questions or anything like that. Just write down the answers, okay? Then in the $10 category, so obviously it's worth more, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult. Your first option is a virtual concert. It says, attend a virtual concert theater performance and write a 100-word reflection about your experience. Now, guys, 100 words. That is not long at all, okay? It says, check closely because a lot of these are presented live on a certain day, time, date. Attach information about what you watched and where you watched it, along with a screenshot of your submission or on your submission. So I've linked 2 things. The first one says Like Classical, and it's a website that's listing out a bunch of different opera performances and theater performances. And the thing about these websites is it's actually like live concerts and theater performances. So for most of them, you do have to log in online at a certain time to watch them. The second one is Want Modern, and it's more obviously what you're used to. Let me click on it and I'll tell you some things it says. You know, because of all of this COVID stuff, the Rona stuff, a lot of musicians are putting out free concerts. And I just thought it was kind of a fun way to just enjoy something different and write a little bit. Okay, so like for example, today is like the 5th. Let me go down. April 1st, 2nd, 4th, 5th. Okay, so if you are going to do that assignment tonight, April 5th is AMC Presents Our Country on CBS at 8 p.m. We'll feature at-home performances from country superstars. Diplo will DJ his Corona World Tour on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitch at 6 o'clock. Chris Freeman plays Martin Guitar Presents Jams in Place at noon. Colby Calais and Justin Kawika Young of Gone West will perform a virtual live show at 8. And the list kind of goes on. So these are all virtual, free concerts that you can attend. So you just pick the one that you think you will like the best and watch it. And then tell me about it. Reflect on it. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Was it weird watching it online? How does the music make you feel? What was the mood? What was the tone? What was the setting? Where did the concert take place? I mean, there's a million things you could say about an online concert. Okay? The next option in the $10 list is figurative language. It says, watch your favorite TV show or movie and identify 5 uses of figurative language. Make sure you write the name of the show, the season, episode, if it's Netflix, whatever, and provide the dialogue to support your answer. And there's actually a worksheet that goes along with that you will be filling in. Okay? Let me click on it. So like name a show, season and episode, quote it. So what's the dialogue? What does it say? And then identify type of figurative device language. Simile, metaphor, idiom, personification, onomatopoeia, alliteration, hyperbole, idiom. You can look for repetition, any of those rhetorical devices that we've talked about. I mean, just really any example of a TV show using that figurative language, that not literal language, right? And then the last question is, what effect did this device have on the meaning and tone of what was being said in that TV show? And y'all, it doesn't matter what you're watching right now, what TV show, what Netflix show, what Hulu show, what internet show, figurative language is going to be used. You just have to find it, okay? Let me click over here and make sure my video is still recording. Yeah, it is. It's going to be super long. By the way, make sure you're on this worksheet and kind of scrolling through with me, because it'll make so much more sense if you do that. Okay, so your next option in the $10 category is Crash Course. And I'm going to do a whole separate video explaining why I chose this episode of Crash Course. It goes along with a really long Greek drama classical play that we would have read at the end of the year, which sadly, I know y'all are sad, we won't have time to do. So like I said, there'll be a whole other video explaining it. But what you do is you watch the Crash Course literature episode on YouTube, and it's talking about the Greek drama Oedipus, and then you just fill in the worksheet. And it's real simple, like what's some different terminology that goes along with Greek theater, and then, summarize the story of Oedipus. It's weird, but it's pretty interesting, okay? The next $10 option is TED Talk. You guys are used to this one, okay? Listen to a TED Talk of your choice, okay? You know that website. I've linked the website if you don't know it. But watch it. It needs to be at least 10 minutes long, and fill in the worksheet that goes along with that. And you know the worksheet. You know how to watch a TED Talk. We spend a lot of time on that. You guys know there's some funny, there's some good, there's some entertaining, there's some sad. There's some really good TED Talks out there. So, as always, take time to find one that you really like, okay? The next option is to read or listen to 2 poems, and I'm going to make a different video for this one as well. 2 poems by Robert Frost, 2 incredibly famous ones that you've probably already read. Let me click on it. So one is The Road Not Taken, and then you've got 5 questions over that one. And then the next one is stopping by woods on a snowy evening, and you've got, I think, 5 questions on that one as well. Now, you actually don't have to answer questions. I want you to listen to both of the poems, but you don't have to answer the questions for both of the poems. You can just choose the one that really spoke to you and that you like the best and just answer questions for that one. Okay? Okay, we're moving on up. $15 options, okay? Remember, you want it to equal $20 a week, so you can choose one of the $15 ones and one of the 5 ones. And if it goes over, like, I don't mind. So if you end up spending $30 because you choose 2 $15 ones that week, it's cool. It's fine. Okay, so read an editorial from the New York Times and write a 100-word, once again, not much writing, reflection explaining how you feel about the information being presented. Make sure you make it clear which editorial you read by copying and pasting a link to the one you read and, give me the title. Just make it real clear when I look at these, like, what assignment you're doing. So, the editorial, there's a link there to the New York Times, and it lists out a ton of different options. Coronavirus in America, a highlight reel. You shouldn't have to risk your life to vote. What happens if Congress cannot assemble to do its work? Obviously, most of it's about the corona right now, but if you keep scrolling down, you will find some other ones. Locked out of the virtual classroom. Make abortion more available during the pandemic. I don't know about you. I'm tired of hearing about the corona, but it's scary, and I understand why we're all talking about it so much. The epic failure of coronavirus testing in America. What New York can do. Did Richard Burr and Kelly Loeffler profit from the pandemic? I mean, if you keep scrolling, the list goes on and on and on and on. This is obviously nonfiction reading. It's an editorial. But I promise you can find one that you'll like, okay? Okay, so just keep scrolling and find you a good one. Okay, your next $15 option is, it says nonfiction, okay? And I'm going to make a video for it. I'm going to read it out loud for you. Unless you want to read it yourself, you're welcome to. But it is a nonfiction article by Barbara Kingsolver. It's one of her nonfiction pieces, but she is a fictional writer. She's got some really good books out there for young adults. But it's about family. And then you've got some of those famous questions that I've used all year, which aren't exactly simple. But because this is distance learning and enrichment, you don't have to answer all of them. You only have to choose 4 to answer. The other is another nonfiction option. Why do some brains enjoy fear? It's pretty interesting, especially if you're one of those people that like haunted houses and being scared and scary movies. And same thing. You'll choose 4 questions to answer about that. Finally, the last category is desserts, worth $20. And if you choose one of these, that'll be the only one you do that week. Number 1, fairy tale. It says Disney versus Grimm's. Read a Grimm's fairy tale, and I've put a link to where you can find those, and watch the Disney-related movie. Write a 200-word reflection comparing and contrasting the two. You'll see they're very different. Grimm's fairy tales tend to be very, very dark. My Disney lovers out there, this is a really good option for you, and I know a lot of you probably have time to kill and have time to do something like this. So, the next one is I have attached 2 news articles, and it's about the positive effects of COVID-19. One's about the people placing bears outside. The other one's about how animals are being adopted. So it's just a little bit of positivity in this time when everything is so incredibly scary and negative. And you just write a 200-word reflection comparing those, or discussing them, really, not even comparing them. There's nothing to compare. Discussing those. What do they say? How do you feel about it? How are you feeling right now, right? About all of this that is happening. Okay, 200 words, not a lot, guys. The third option is a novel playlist. Choose a novel of your choice. Hopefully some of you are reading right now. I know not all of you. But those of you that like to read or checked out books before we left from me, I hope that you are reading. And it says, imagine you are one of the main characters of your book. Think about the kind of music you might enjoy, genres, artists, and songs, and then create a playlist of 8 to 10 songs for him or her. For each listing, include the song name, artist, and a brief description explaining why. So, If you've read a book recently you've really liked, pretend you're the main character and you're making a playlist for that main character. What songs would they have? I mean, it's going to depend on your book. If it's a sad book, a lovey-dovey book, an action-adventure book, that's going to obviously affect your choice in songs that this main character would choose. The last two are fiction choices. The first one is to read The Black Cat by Edgar Allan Poe. Now, we talked about Poe. We actually read Poe, The Mask of Red Death, right before we were let out. You know Poe. And I'm gonna make a video of me reading it here in a second. But not exactly easy to understand. But I really, really, really went into detail telling you about this story because it's one of my favorites. So hopefully that'll help you in understanding it a little bit better. But read it, or listen to me reading it, and then answer 4 questions about that. And the last one is a story titled Robot Dreams. A lot of times I put it in that dystopian unit that we do, but I didn't this year. So I'm going to read it out loud to you on a separate video, or you read it yourself and once again choose 4 answers to answer about that. Guys, I just wanted to get, today is a good day to read. I just wanted to give you some choice because I know it's a weird time, and I know you're living life and whatnot and might not be worried about schoolwork, but you got to keep reading and you got to keep writing. I chose these assignments because I hoped that they were more fun, and I know school fun is very different than probably your fun, but they're fun in the school world. And hey, if you want to work your way down the list and do every single one of them, you're welcome to. But once again, $20 a week is the assignment, so that means you choose from the different categories, and you only have to go up to $20. So have fun picking those, stay safe, and I'm going to be making videos all the time. So if you got any questions, email me, text me, my phone number, which I'll put it in Classroom, but 717-6453. I look forward to hearing from you. Okay? See ya.